In a major victory, the U.S. Supreme Court has blocked the Biden administration's vaccine mandate. The court's order was released on Thursday afternoon and revealed a 6-3 majority in favor of the emergency relief. A lower federal court initially blocked the vaccine requirement, but it was later reinstated by the Court of Appeals for the Sixth Circuit. The Supreme Court agreed to hear the matter, and a decision has been reached. Biden's vaccine mandate cannot move forward while the Court of Appeals for the Sixth Circuit formally considers the mandate. The court said that applicants are likely to succeed in that case. This order effectively struck down Biden's mandate because any appeal back to the Supreme Court must follow the precedent set by this emergency pause. Justice Gorsuch wrote that the question before us is not how to respond to the pandemic, but who holds the power to do so. The answer is clear. Under the law as it stands today, that power rests with the states and Congress, not OSHA. Prior to the court's order, audio clips from a hearing of the case went viral. In one, Justice Sotomayor said that there is no vaccine mandate.
With respect to vaccines or encouraging vaccines, because this is not a vaccine mandate.
In the newly released decision, however, the court's order explicitly says that the federal government recently enacted a vaccine mandate for much of the nation's workforce. It goes on to say that there are limited exceptions. Other audio clips of Sotomayor and Breyer were later fact-checked by media organizations. The justices appeared to suggest that many children were on ventilators due to COVID, and that 750 million had tested positive for the virus in one day.
We have over 100,000 children, which we've never had before, in serious condition, and many on ventilators.
750 million new cases yesterday, or close to that, is a lot.
Here's how we got to this point. After the 2020 election, Joe Biden said that he would not demand that vaccines or masks would be mandatory nationwide.
No, I don't think it should be mandatory. I wouldn't demand to be mandatory, but I would do everything in my power, just like I don't think masks have to be made mandatory nationwide.
However, in September of 2021, President Biden did issue a mandate.
I'm announcing that the Department of Labor is developing an emergency rule to require all employers with 100 or more employees that together employ over 80 million workers to ensure their workforces are fully vaccinated or show a negative test at least once a week.
The order requires everyone who works at businesses with more than 100 employees to be vaccinated or face weekly testing. The White House also stated that all unvaccinated employees must wear a mask while in the workplace. Although over 63% of all Americans were vaccinated at the time of the announcement, and nearly 75% now, Biden made it clear that his order was not about freedom or personal choice. Biden's announcement did not include a starting date, an official regulation, or the name of the agency that would enforce the mandate. Even so, Biden was quick to point to the existing vaccine requirements of private companies as apparent support for his nationwide order.
Some of the biggest companies are already requiring this. United Airlines, Disney, Tyson's Food, and even Fox News.
Biden met with several high-profile CEOs to promote his directive, but most of them didn't need convincing. Lots of companies, including CVS, Delta Airlines, Facebook, Google, and Tyson Foods, already announced their own vaccine mandates, without the federal government forcing them to. Leaders of other companies expressed excitement about implementing the non-optional order from the government.
We're thrilled. This really needed to have happened. And frankly, the government coming in, laying down a structure is welcomed and will be very good for the country. And I'm just thrilled with the president's leadership on this.
Other companies released their first vaccination requirements to ensure compliance with the federal guidelines. Ford Motor Company, for example, required all salaried workers to submit proof of vaccination. On November 4th, the Biden administration released its mandate in the form of an emergency rule from OSHA, an agency within the Department of Labor. The White House said that all affected employees had to receive the COVID vaccine before January 4th, 2022. While the 154-page order set a deadline, it still did not clearly define the penalty for those who do not comply with the mandate. Under OSHA's existing fine structure, companies could face fines of hundreds of thousands of dollars per day. The Daily Wire responded by immediately suing the federal government. The Dillon Law Group and Alliance Defending Freedom filed the legal challenge on behalf of the Daily Wire. Jeremy Boring, co-CEO of the Daily Wire, announced that he would use every tool at our disposal, including legal action, to resist this overreach.
The Daily Wire will not comply with President Biden's tyrannical vaccine mandate, and we've sued the Biden administration to put a stop to their gross overreach. The president simply lacks the constitutional authority to force individuals to take this vaccine, so he's trying to use the unelected bureaucrats over at the Department of Labor to force private employers to do his dirty work for him.
More than 24 states, along with hundreds of businesses and organizations, also announced challenges to the mandate. Even Black Lives Matter, the national activist group that helped put Biden and the Democrats in power, is now throwing their weight against mandates in places like New York City. Prominent Black celebrities like Nicki Minaj have also voiced their suspicion over the mandates.
She claims you had to be vaccinated to attend the Met Gala on Sunday, but she won't get the shot until she's done enough research.
In response to numerous lawsuits, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit initially issued a ruling to pause the rollout of Biden's mandate. At this point, the many separate legal filings from various states, businesses, and organizations were consolidated in the Sixth Circuit. This resulted in the Sixth Circuit reinstating Biden's mandate, which was then appealed directly to the Supreme Court. This led the White House and the Department of Labor to delay their vaccine or test deadline to January 10th. Justice Kavanaugh, who oversees the Sixth Circuit, brought the appeal before the full Supreme Court for a decision on whether to allow Biden's mandate to be implemented. Before the decision was made, a group of 186 senators and representatives filed a brief with the court arguing that the Biden administration does not have the authority to implement its nationwide mandate. Nearly 4 months after Biden's executive order, the Daily Wire won a major legal victory with the Supreme Court ruling in its favor and continuing to block Biden's vaccine mandate. Jeremy Boring, co-CEO of the Daily Wire, celebrated the Supreme Court decision.
It's just a tremendous day for the American people, and a tremendous day for the founding idea that this is a limited government of enumerated powers which exists to protect, not erode, the God-given freedoms of the people.
And while the court's decision only applies to an emergency request, this particular order does set a precedent. That means that any future appeal of the full case, which is still pending before the Sixth Circuit, would have to abide by the new decision that the mandate is unconstitutional. At the same time Biden targeted all companies with over 100 employees, he also signed a separate executive order to force all federal contractors to be vaccinated. All employees of companies that hold federal contracts, not just those who work on government projects, would be required to prove vaccination. Numerous lawsuits have been filed challenging the mandate specific to federal contractors, and so far have won several rulings to stop Biden's order, at least during an interim period. For now, the Daily Wire is celebrating the legal win and also announced that it will continue to fight the Biden administration until the unconstitutional vaccine mandate is fully defeated. In honor of the ruling, use the code WINNING for 40% off of a Daily Wire membership. That's code WINNING to get 40% off of a Daily Wire membership. For all of the latest updates on challenges to Biden's vaccine mandate, go to dailywire.com. Thanks for watching.